the new head coach at George Mason, but certainly a man familiar with all the wars in the NCAA at Georgia Tech for 11 years with 5 NCAA appearances, a championship game in 2004. We say hello to Paul Hewitt. Paul, welcome to the CAA.
Thank you very much. Glad to be in the area.
Are you all settled in? Everything kind of
I'm
looking
so
regular
close
now?
To traffic. I living so close to campus. I think this traffic stuff in there is overrated. I haven't been in traffic. I'm about a mile and a half from the office. So
it only takes you 30 minutes then if you're a mile and a half, right?
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you a quick little question off the course of basketball. Have you had an opportunity to see that band they have up there?
Yes, I have.
That is a show in itself.
I'll give you a tip. Go on our website and see the video from Mason Madness.
Oh, I tell you,
I'm going to tell you, just
they're
go
fantastic.
Look at it.
It's hard to do a game and watch them go down there because they're
Doc
so
Nix
good.
does a great job.
Right.
Yeah. Now, one of the things after Mason Madness the other night, I heard one of the great quotes. The players were saying, all right, this is what coaches told us. The first 7 seconds of the shot clock are ours. The rest are his. So I'm guessing you want to be a little up-tempo.
Al, you know how it is with us coaches. We tell them stuff, and then when the game starts, we want to be up-tempo. We want to get up and down, and we've put a great deal of emphasis on conditioning, and the kids have really bought into it. If we defend and rebound, I always keep telling them, they hear that 7-second part. They don't hear the part about defending and rebounding first.
I think you got a good start. Ryan Pearson and Mike Marson are really good basketball players. I'm sure they're going to be leaders for you this year.
Yeah, I've said already today, Ryan Pearson is one of those guys that keeps you up at night because he's such a versatile scorer. You sit up at night thinking of plays to run for him because he is a really, really smart basketball player. Watching tape of him, because since May 2nd, we didn't get a chance to work him out until we got back to school. You don't really see it, but when you start working with him, you realize, like, man, he's a really good player. And Mike's got a great deal of enthusiasm, terrific defensive player, and he brings an energy to practice every day that only coaches really appreciate.
You also have a young man who's developed a great three-point touch in Vertrail Vaughn's, a guy who's going to obviously now get a few more minutes than he had maybe in the past, but every time he seemed to come in, he brought a lot of energy as well as that shot from behind the arc.
I was wondering why the kids call them buckets. Now I know. Every time he puts it up, they just yell buckets. But he's a terrific shooter. I wouldn't ask anybody to emulate or copy his shooting stroke, but it goes in. That's all I'm worried about.
Well, you got some new players, too. And, of course, Wright is back with you now after an injury, isn't he?
Yes, Sherrod Wright is back.
I think he's a good player. Tell us a little bit about the new guys.
Well, Corey Edwards from New York, Vaughn Gray from Jersey, and Eric Copes from Philadelphia. All three of those kids, I think, have a chance to contribute for us. I love Corey's. Even though he's a freshman, he's a very vocal leader. And as a point guard, you can't have a point guard that's going to talk and instruct enough. And Eric Copes, you ask him, what does he do well? He said, Coach, I rebound and I like to rebound. I wanted to hug him when he said that. But, for a big guy not to say, I want to play on the perimeter face up, he's like, he likes going down and roughing it up a little bit.
When you come into a new situation like this and you bring the experience you bring in, where is that balance between seeing what you have and knowing what you want to do? And how does that all kind of blend in together?
Well, the kids have been really receptive. I think for a couple of reasons, because we're a little bit of a different team that I took over on May 2nd. We've lost a couple of pieces, one of them maybe temporarily. So they understand, all those guys in the perimeter understand that this is a great opportunity for them, and they're really just trying to adapt to us. And also Ryan and Mike have really been terrific leaders in getting the kids to understand that, hey, if you're going to win as much as we won last year, this is the level you've got to work at. So I give both those young men credit for establishing in the locker room and on the practice floor how hard we're going to play.
Well, they know how to win because they
do.
have done a tremendous job. They won they were regular season winners a year ago, and they've just played good basketball. I think you're going to be really excited with how they do, but. Being in this league is a tough league, and I'm sure you know that. And Al and I have talked about this morning. What Shaka did with VCU last year, it's got to help the whole league, but it has to help each individual program, I think, especially in recruiting.
Yeah, it does. I think Mason signaled it in 06 that parity is here in college basketball, and obviously Butler and then VCU. And it's an interesting thing. I think we talk about conference expansion an awful lot. I think what conference expansion has done is really help quality teams to be recognized. There was a time when, Charlie, you can remember when you were at Bucknell and William & Mary that you had a good team, but some of those bigger conferences overshadow you. I think as those bigger conferences gotten bigger, what it's done is really make people pay attention to, okay, these guys have a great record. They've played a good schedule, give an opportunity. And again, in 06, Jim and his team signaled that parity is here in college basketball, and I think it's here to stay.
And I would say you come into a university that has great tradition. Jim did set a standard there, and the accomplishments of '06 are remembered. And when that building is full, it becomes quite an advantage.
Yeah, just at Mason Madness the other night, I couldn't believe I walked out there, saw 5,000 people. I was like, I mean, I just remind them, hey, let's make sure you're here November 11th. We play Rhode Island and give them the same type of welcome. So.
Well, Paul, we welcome you to the CAA. Look forward to another terrific year at George Mason. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Paul Hewitt, the new head coach at George Mason University.
Go to ESPN3 for the complete replay of the 2011 CAA Basketball Media Day Live.